So, good morning, one and all. So, today we start our new modulation scheme, that is quadrature amplitude modulation. What is that? Quadrature amplitude modulation. Okay. So, in the last classes, we have seen ASK, PSK, FSK. In all these basic techniques, here in ASK we have shifted amplitude. Here we have shifted the phase. Here we have shifted the frequency. Okay. Now in QAM, it is a hybrid technique where there will be a change in the phase as well as amplitude. It is a hybrid technique in which the phase and amplitude of the carrier will be changing. Okay, both parameters will change. Okay, so it is just like the combination of these two. What are they? ASK and PSK. So ASK PSK combination is QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation. Okay, now we'll discuss about QAM. What is a QAM? Yeah, so suppose S of t is a QAM modulated signal. Now it is something like this: A1 phi1 of t plus A2 phi2 of t. This is the general equation for the QAM signal. Okay, here what we do here is phi1 phi2 are basis functions. How are they defined? Root 2 by t cos omega ct. Phi2 of t is defined as root 2 by t sin omega ct. Okay. Now, so these are two basis function. They differ by pi by 2 radians or 90 degrees. So the two basis functions differ by pi by 2 radians or 90 degrees. Whenever any two signals differ by 90 degrees, so we call them as quadrature components. They are in quadrature. Okay, so these two are in quadrature. What do we say? They are in quadrature. Okay, yeah. So QAM is a signal in which two carriers shifted in phase by 90 degrees. So the resultant carrier signal consists of both amplitude and phase variations. Okay, it is considered as a mixture of amplitude and phase modulation. Okay, as I told you just now, it is just like mixture of these two techniques. Okay, now so these are the two basis functions we need in case of QAM. Okay, right. Now how A1 A2 are defined? So that is a one more question. So A1 is defined as 2i plus 1 into A. I will tell you what is A, but I varies from 0 less than I 0 less than I less than or equal to root m by 2 minus 1. Root m by 2 minus 1. Now another one A2, it is also defined as 2j plus 1 into A, where 0 less than j less than root m by 2 minus 1. Obviously here this should be an integer. Make sure that this is an integer. If not integer, you take the nearest integer. Okay, so these are the QAM equations. How would define A1 phi1 of t plus A2 phi2 of t. Phi1 of t, phi2 of t are quadrature to each other, and A1 A2 are defined like this. You know already what is M. We say M array QAM. M QAM. M means it defines the number of energy signals that you are transmitting. You know already M equal to 2 power n. M equal to 2 power n. Okay. So what is n? N is number of bits per symbol. Okay, number of bits per symbol. Now here, suppose if I take m equal to 64, m equal to 64. So 64 means it is 2 power 6, isn't it? Which means we have 6 bits per symbol. Okay. Now, so it is called 64 QAM. We call it the 64 QAM. Okay. Now, suppose you can also take m equal to 16. You can also take m equal to 16. There 2 power 4, which means 4 bits per symbol. Now, so if m equal to 16, so let us draw the constellation. So m equal to 16. Now what is S of t? A1 phi 1 of t plus A2 phi 2 of t. Now we have to find out A1, A2. It's a two-dimensional constellation, obviously. Why? Because here we need only two basis functions. Always we need only two basis functions. It's a two-dimensional constellation. Now how A1 is defined? A1 equal to plus or minus 2i plus 1 when 0 less than I less than root m by 2 minus 1. What is root m? Root m equal to 4. What is root m by 2? This is 2. This is 2. Okay. So 2 minus 1, 1. It varies from 0 to 1. So I is 0 and I is 1. Okay. So if I is 0, what is A1? A1 values are A1 belongs to what? If I equal to 0, this is A, here it should be A is there. What is that? Plus A minus A. Let me write separately. Plus A minus A. When I equal to 1, it is plus or minus 3A. When I equal to 1, it is plus or minus 3A. Plus 3A minus 3. Similarly, what is A2? A2 also same. I am writing same. Now we got the A1, A2. But what is S of t? A1 phi 1 of t plus A2 phi 2 of t. So can you draw the constellation? To draw the constellation, we should go for what? Two axes are there. They should be, what is the name of this axis? Phi 1, phi 2. Okay. Now here, okay, so we have A here, we have here 3A. Here minus A, here minus 3A. Okay. So what is the first A1, A2? A plus A plus A. Where is the plus A plus A? So here also, phi 2 also I should write A 3A. Here also I should write minus A minus 3A. Now denote the points. A comma A, 1 point. A comma 3A, so 1 point, 1 point. Here also 1 point, 1 point. These are all 16 message points. Okay. A minus A, something like this. So this is the constellation of what? 16 QAM. This is the constellation of 16 QAM. Is it okay? Suppose if m equal to 4, okay, what happens? If m equal to 4, what happens? So what is root 4 by 2? What is that? 1, which means here what is this value? 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So I is 0 and j also is 0. So I am doing directly. I hope you can get this point. So a1 belongs to plus a minus a, a2 also plus a minus a. Now if m equal to 4, that is called 4 QAM. So this is a minus a. So let me not write like that. This is a, this is minus a, this is a, this is minus a. Okay. So what are the combinations? A minus a, minus a minus a. Now this is called 4 QAM, but it is also called as QPSK. QPSK means quadrature phase shift keying. Okay, so let me tell you this thing. As I told you, so we have a BPSK. Okay, here m equal to 2, but I told you m can be any value that is 2 power of n. Okay, if m equal to 4, it is called QPSK. Okay, what a constellation? Just now I told you just now like that, something like this. 4 points at 4 different phases. So QPSK is just like 4 QAM. Please remember this, very very important. Okay, so in a QAM we transmit symbols along two quadrature carriers. The carriers are in quadrature, so we transmit the symbols above those two carriers which are in quadrature by changing the amplitude as well as phase. Okay, now so like this you can find out the, these are the constellations. Like it is QPSK or 4 QAM, it is 16 QAM, it is maybe 64 QAM. This is a constellation of 64 QAM. So 64 means you have 64 symbols, 16 symbols. So they form a square grid. How are they? They are in a square grid. If you combine them, you get a square. Okay, it is a square constellation. Okay, right. Now, so here you can see one thing, that here I don't know whether you can able to see it or not. So you can here this is the 16 QAM. Okay, where each and every point is having a different phase and different amplitudes. Okay, so the phase as well as amplitude will be varied. Now I also used the notation of bits. Suppose this is 64 QAM means 16 QAM means how many bits per symbol? 2 power 4 equal to 16, which means 4 bits per symbol. Now what are the possibilities of getting 4 bits? What are they? 0, 0, 0, 0, you know already, so on, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, this is the decoding, you know already. Is it okay? Now in this diagram, all the symbols are shown. So this is 4 zeros. This is 0, 0, 1, like that. And different symbols will have different phases and amplitudes. Okay, that is called QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation. Okay, so with this we complete the basic modulation techniques. We have discussed BPSK, BFSK, ASK and QAM. QAM is a hybrid where it is a mixture of ASK and PSK, where we transmit symbols along two quadrature carriers by changing the amplitude and phase. Is it okay? So we are not getting the details of QAM, but that is enough. Clear? Now I told you what is this A. A is a separation. Okay. Okay, not A. 2A is a separation between the samples, I mean points. 2A, right? 2A is a separation between the different samples. You take any two neighboring message points, they differ by 2A. Okay. 2A is a separation. Right. Right. So with this we complete the basic techniques. Right. Now I will discuss a receiver. It is called matched filter receiver. So you may get it out. Already we have discussed receivers, no? How was the receiver? I mean, we have discussed the receiver. It contains a detector or demodulator followed by ML decoder. We have discussed already while discussing the probability of error calculations. But so I will discuss a similar receiver. It is also just like previous receivers, but it has got significance. It is called MF. In the short form we call matched filter receiver. It's called a matched filter receiver. Okay, it's a filter basically, that's it. Okay, now so let us take a simple schematic of the wireless communication. This is G of t. I am using different notations, you don't worry about notations. So G of t is a transmitted or modulated signal. So when you modulate over a channel, it will be added with some noise. Okay, so you get a received signal X of t. Now it will be given to the receiver. It will be given to the receiver. So in the receiver we have a filter, linear time invariant filter with impulse response H of t. Okay, and later we sample the output of the filter at TB or T equal to capital T. Later we use the detection or decoding. So let me tell you the brief thing is, briefly I can say that. So okay, so here what do we get at X of t? X of t is a received signal, that is, you know already, X of t is a received signal, that is G of t, that is a modulated signal plus some noise. You know already, noise is a Gaussian noise with a zero mean and with a variance n0 by 2, or with a uniform power spectral density n0 by 2. Okay, anyway, so here we get X of t, here we get X of t. So that is given to the receiver. The receiver is simply a filter here, filter followed by a sampler. LTI system with impulse response H of t. Now input is X of t. X of t is a received signal which is a combination of what? This transmitted signal plus noise. Okay, this is signal component, this is a noise component. G of t is a modulated version, you just assume like that. Okay, okay, this is about this is about noise. Now so let me study here. Output of the filter is, let us take Y of t. Output is Y of t. Now Y of t is sampled at t equal to capital T. Now the final output is Y of capital T. The final output is Y of capital T. Okay, you know already, it is a filter with input X of t, output Y of t with impulse response H of t. What do you do? Output equal to, you know already, output equal to X of t convolution H of t. Okay, but what is X of t? X of t is G of t plus W of t. whole convolution h of t. But you know already convolution obeys linearity. Okay, so what is y of t? So what is y of t? G of t convolution h of t, g of t convolution h of t plus w of t convolution h of t. Now this is the signal part. This is noise. It is called as G naught of t. It is called as N of t. So the output is simply G naught of t plus N of t. Here you just assume like this. This is the signal part, this is the noise part. What is G naught of t? It is G of t convolution h of t. What is noise? W of t convolution h of t. Okay. Now, so here comes the logic. What is the role of this filter? It is in the receiver. It has to extract the original signal properly. Okay. How it is possible? So the optimum filter h of t will maximize SNR. So we have to choose a filter which maximizes SNR. Here we deal with SNR in this case. I will explain why. Even though digital modulation technique, we call with SNR. You know SNR means signal power by noise power. Okay, so let me take the noise power. Okay, so the noise power is like this. You observe things properly. So we are giving noise. If you take only noise W of t is given to the filter with impulse response h of t. Okay. What is the output PSD? So impulse response h of t means h of f. Noise PSD is what? You know already. N0 by 2. Uniform for all frequencies. What is the output PSD? You know already. Input PSD into, let me take PSD output equal to PSD input into mod h of f whole square. You know these things, right? Okay. Now what is the power? Power is area under PSD. That means power means minus to plus infinity output PSD df. Now here simply what is output PSD? Input PSD is what? N0 by 2 for all frequencies. So it is simply minus to plus infinity N0 by 2 mod h of f whole square df. This is the noise power NP. Okay. So in this the denominator is we got. So what is signal power? Okay. So here y of t is g naught of t plus n of t. Okay, and later it is sampled. Later it is sampled. If you remember properly, it is sampled at t equal to capital T. Then what do you get here? Y of capital T. What is y of capital T? G naught of capital T plus some noise n of t. It is also sampled at t equal to capital T. It is okay. So remember, I am writing t equal to capital T here. Okay. Now here I am not dealing with noise. Let us noise is 0. So what is signal part? G naught of t. Okay. So what is signal power? Signal power is mod G naught of t whole square. So I am doing separately signal power, noise power. Just now I have calculated noise power. So total SNR, it is called eta, that equal to G naught of t whole square by n naught by 2 integration mod h of f whole square df. Okay. Yeah. So but we have to calculate what is G naught of t, capital T. Please be careful. Okay. Right. So before that, what is G naught of t? It is G of t convolution h of t. If you take Fourier transform, what do you get? G naught of f equal to G of f into h of f. Okay. Now, so in the denominator we have h of f, mod h of f whole square. So in the numerator also I want h of f, which means how to do what is G naught of t now? G naught of t is inverse Fourier transform of what? G naught of f. Agreed or not? Simple logic. But what is G naught of t? Inverse Fourier transform means how to write? Minus to plus infinity. G naught of f. G naught of f e power j plus j 2 pi f t df. Okay. So what is G naught of f? Integration minus to plus infinity. What is G naught of f? G of f into h of f. Okay. G of f into h of f e power j 2 pi f t df. This is G naught of t. But what do we want? We want G naught of capital T, that is sampled at t equal to capital T. Obviously replace small t with capital T. Minus infinity G of f h of f e power j 2 pi f capital T df. This is G naught of t. But what is signal power? Mod G naught of t whole square. Now finally, what is eta? Let me write carefully. Eta equal to, what is eta now finally? So this is eta. Okay, I will write carefully. I will write mod integration minus to plus unity G of f h of f e power j 2 pi f t df whole square. That is signal power by what is noise power? What is noise power? n naught by 2 integration minus to plus mod h of f whole square df. This is what we had. Okay. Now to solve this, so we are stuck at the SNR. Okay, but our aim is to maximize SNR. For that we have to find out what should be the impulse response of the filter. That is the logic. Okay, now so there is a inequality that is called charge inequality. What it says is mod integration x of omega or x of f y of omega d omega whole square. What it says, you see this whole square is always less than equal to integration mod x of omega whole square into integration mod d omega integration mod y of omega whole square d omega. You observe this very carefully. This is less than equal to this into this, and it is equal to this if and only if x of omega is some k into y conjugate omega. This is very, very, very important. You study this. So this is inequality, but this becomes equality whenever x of omega equal to some k is a constant into y of omega, y star of omega, y conjugate of omega. Okay, if it is not satisfied, this quantity is always less than this quantity. Okay, so let us apply this rule to our equation. So let us apply it to the numerator, this part and this part. Okay, yeah, so I will apply. You just observe carefully. I want to apply the charge inequality to this quantity minus 2 plus infinity g of f h of f e power j 2 pi ft df mod whole square is less than equal to, it is x of omega, it is y of omega, something like that, x of f or y of f, less than equal to this. What do you say? It is minus 2 plus infinity mod g of f whole square df into what? Into integration minus 2 plus infinity mod, what is the mod of this quantity? Mod h of f e power j 2 pi ft. So if you take mod, this will vanish. You are left with only h of f. So mod h of f whole square df. When it is equal, when these two are equal, x of omega, y of omega, or x of f, y of f. When they are equal, when g of f is equal to some k into what? See, remember, k into conjugate of this quantity, k into h of f. Let me write separately. So that is equality. Equality holds good whenever g of f is equal to k into h of f into e power j 2 pi ft conjugation. Please remember this. So if you apply conjugation, so k into h conjugation of f. So if you apply conjugation to the exponential, it becomes negative, e power minus j 2 pi f capital T. This is g of f. Okay, so this is the inequality. This is the inequality. Okay, so let me write here this one, eta will be less than equal to, let me go here now, yeah, so what is eta equal to? Okay, let me write here. Okay, what you are writing? Yeah, eta is equal to, okay, so less than equal to, what will happen now? Numerator becomes this into this. Okay, numerator equal to integration minus 2 plus infinity mod g of f whole square df into what? Integration minus to plus infinity mod h of f whole square df. This is a numerator. Please remember I am writing inequality less than or equal to by the denominator is same, it is did not change, minus to plus infinity n naught by 2 mod h of f whole square. Obviously this and this will cancel out. What do you get now? Eta is the SNR less than or equal to n naught by 2 becomes 2 by n naught minus to plus infinity. So here mod is not required because g is generally a real number, real quantity. You can also directly write g of f whole square df. So obviously what is the maximum of this value? What the maximum means? Equality. Maximum SNR equal to 2 by n naught integration minus to plus infinity g of f whole square df. Okay. So when it is maximum, please remember, when it is maximum, I told you, equality holds whenever this is satisfied. Okay. Now, so if you go into the time domain, I am inverse Fourier transform, what will happen? Can you think of it? What is g of t? K into h conjugate t minus t. Okay. Or you can also write reverse. So here we have to find out h of t. G of t is known signal. So it can also be reversed like this. You can write h optimum of t equal to k into g of capital T minus t. Either way you can write. Okay. Why? Because here x of omega you can choose differently. Y of omega you can choose differently. Okay. So I am writing like this means here what is unknown? H of t. It should be written in the form of g of t. Okay. So either the formulas are good. Okay. K is arbitrary constant. Generally we take k to be equal to 1. So it is possible if and only if h of t equal to g conjugation of capital T minus t. So conjugation also can be removed if g of t happen to be real. So generally if it is real, simply the optimum filter response is g of capital T minus t. If k is 1, otherwise k should be there. Which means if the impulse response of the LTI system is like this, we are getting maximum SNR. Okay, it is maximum SNR whenever this is possible. Impulse response of an optimum filter except for the scaling factor k is the time reversed and delayed version of the input signal g of t. Yeah. So if you observe things properly, let me write here what exactly happens in the receiver part. So receiver is a filter just like this. Input is x of t, that is g of t plus some noise. Now impulse response is h of t and later it is sampled at t equal to capital T. So there is one more reason why we sample at t equal to capital T. I will explain. So output is y of t. This is what the thing is. Here h of t is what? Optimum filter. That is g of capital T minus t. What is the impulse response? It is the shifted and delayed version of input signal. The impulse response of the filter is shifted, time shifted and delayed version of input signal. Why? Because what exactly is this? This is actually g of minus t minus capital T, which means it is reversed and shifted. Okay, that's why it's called matched to the input signal. Here the impulse response of the LTI system is matched to the input signal. That's why it's called matched filter. Okay, so here you can write K, so also conjugation if it is not real. So what is the maximum SNR? It's very important. Okay, so here I have written what is this formula? Integration minus to plus infinity g of t whole square dt is same as integration minus to plus infinity mod g of f whole square df. Parseval's theorem, which means both are indicating the energy of the g of t. Now this quantity is nothing but energy of g of t, simply energy. If it is energy, what is the maximum SNR? What is maximum SNR? 2 into energy by N naught. So SNR is maximum means, so E by N naught is maximum. So the probability of error will be minimum. That is the logic. And not only that, so whenever it is maximum, when the filter impulse response is some k constant times g conjugation of capital T minus small t. This is the logic. Whenever the impulse response of the filter is like this, we are getting maximum SNR. In that case, the probability of error will be minimum. Okay. So if it happen to be a real signal, generally we write only these two, capital T minus T. Now the impulse response of the filter is reversed and shifted version of input signal. Okay. Now you take this example. Okay, so here, so the input signal is something like this. How it is? A g of t something like this. Let us take 0 to t. It is, let me take one. 0 to t. What is this value? A. Okay. It is g of t. So let us take some example. G of t is given to the filter. Now what is the impulse response of the filter matched to the g of t? It is a real signal. Let me take, it's a real signal. So what is the impulse response of the filter which is matched to above signal? It is simply g of capital T minus small t. How to perform this? Two operations. First, time reversal, and then what? Time reversal and to the shifting towards right side by t. First operation is time reversal. Later shift that towards right side by capital T. So first let us do reversal. Time reversal. What will happen? Above signal will be time reversed. What will happen? It will be something like this. T 0. This is A. Time reversed. Next. Okay, I have done a mistake. Time reverse is not like that. Okay, how is that? Time reversed. Yeah, this is time reversed. Minus t 0. This is A. This is A. One operation is over. Next, after time reversal, what should we do? Shift towards right side by how much? T. Then what will happen? Okay, so what do you get? Like this. 0, capital T. This is A. Now this is the impulse response of the matched filter. Okay. Okay. Suppose this is about, this is g of t. This is a filter which is matched to g of t, h of t, that equal to, here I have taken g of capital T minus small t. Please remember, it involves two operations. Time reversal and shifting towards right side by capital T seconds. Okay. Right. So we'll take simple example. One more example. Yeah. If g of t is like this. Okay. So if g of t is a simple rectangle, it becomes very simple, no? 0 to t. What is amplitude they gave us? A. If this is g of t. So let me take here the optimum. The optimum filter, the optimum matched filter is some k into g of capital T minus small t. K can be 1, otherwise you can leave as it is, no problem. K does not affect actually. That's why you're taking it as 1. Okay, let me take k as it is. Now what is this now? Time shifted by time reversal first. What will happen? Minus t a. Time reversal is over. Next, shift towards right side by a by t. Then what happens? It comes as it is. So 0 to t, this is a. K into a, if not. What is this? This is h of t. Okay, h of t. That is h of t. But what is g of t? G of t is also exactly h of t, except the scaling factor k. Is it okay? Right. Now, what they are asking is, what is g naught of t? I told you, g naught of t is g of t convolution h of t. Is it okay? Now, g of t convolution h of t, which means convolution of two rectangular pulses of same width. What will happen? What is g of t? Given signal 0 to t a. Convolution h of t is also same. 0 to t some k into a. Okay. Now what is the output of the filter? I am not asking the what is the impulse response of the filter. What I am asking, output of the filter. What will happen now? So convolution of two rectangles becomes triangle of double width. Zero to t. Okay. So what is this amplitude? What is amplitude? K a square into t. So when it is having a t, this is g naught of t. Just convolution of two rectangular pulses. Okay. Now, so if you remember, what is the last step? The g naught of t is sampled at t equal to capital T. Then we get g naught of capital T. Remember or not? So the question is, why are we sampling at only capital T? What is the reason? The reason is like this. When you sample at capital T, you get maximum signal power. Okay. Suppose if you sample somewhere here, what will happen? The signal power will be less. So when you sample the signal as capital T, you get maximum energy of the signal. That is k into a square t in case of rectangular pulses. In case of rectangular pulses. Is it okay? So that is the reason why we get a maximum SNR. So we sample at t to get the maximum signal power. Okay. So that is k into a square t. If k equal to 1, simply a square t. In case of rectangular pulses. Is it okay? Right? No. So here I have given one problem based on the previous concept. You solve this. Okay. I gave you answer also. Okay. So this is the matched filter receiver. Simply it is like this. So I will briefly tell you. we get a received signal x of t, which is a sum of signal part plus noise part, that is applied to the filter h of t, and it is later sampled at t equal to capital T, and later we have a decoding also, but this is a receiver. What it is called? Matched filter receiver. Here we are using a filter h of t which is matched to the signal part of the transmitted signal. How it is matched? In what way? So whenever the h of t is some k into g conjugate of t minus capital T, whenever it is something like this, what is happening? The SNR is maximum and the probability of error will be minimum. Okay. So why are we sampling at capital T? Because we get maximum signal power at that particular point of time. Okay. Now this is the simplest receiver called matched filter receiver. Okay. Now, but we did not use this filter anywhere. Okay. So we did not use, but you can use them. They are just like the filters or the receivers that we discussed in the previous classes. They are same. What a filter we have discussed? Let me write this here. For BPSK, what you have done in the receiver? We have taken it and we have multiplied with phi 1 of t. Isn't it? And later we have a decoder. Decoder in the sense here a threshold detector. This is a receiver we have talked about. So this also same. It is also just like the receiver that we have discussed earlier. This or that both are same. Okay. So it is very easy to discuss. That's why I discussed this. But it is also the operation is same. Both will have same operations. No problem. Okay. Now it is called a matched filter receiver. Right. So this is the end of the 4th unit. Okay. So we'll stop here. Next we'll go with the 5th unit. Thank you.